Hello there, this is Robert of MayflowerBookshop.com, and I wanted to share a few things for your 3-minute a day meditation. As you probably know, I'm really pushing hard and have a lot of little talks here on my YouTube channel about the importance of meditating for 3 minutes a day, letting go of your breath, breathing deep into your deepest core stillness behind your heart, a beautiful space that's deeper than pleasure and pain and deeper than anything we can think. In anthroposophical terms, we would say at an unconscious level, there's a trinity in our stillness of the Saturn, Sun, Moon evolution of this earth before we now are living through the fourth earth. But the 3 earths before, which gave us the gift of minerals, plants, and animals, and ground to stand on and live by, so that we on the 4th earth, and we're just past the middle of this 4th earth, perhaps in the late 1800s, we've passed this middle point. And we're heading for a subcycle of this 4th earth. And we're moving into the Aquarian age. What I offer to you to ponder is that within us is this unconscious past 3 earths. H.P. Blavatsky calls it rounds or earth evolutions. Steiner refers to it as the Saturn, Sun, Moon evolution. And then this 4th earth, where the spirit of the sun, the archangel of the sun, for lack of better words, the spirit of the sun incarnates into the heart mind of each human being. And we have a sense of an I am. And that all spiritual heroes, avatars, saints, enlightened beings that have arrived with spiritual teachings through all religions of all ages, all sages, are the story of this incarnation of an I am or sense of self that can be creative and participant with all life, that everything's part of a family, a big community. And we can look within ourselves and see this threefold step into the 4th. And we can imagine and make conscious a wee bit of this radical warm stillness, love, surrender that comes to the light of awareness and consciousness that all things matter and that there's a wisdom and love to it. Perhaps the 2nd stage of wisdom and love is one stage of the triple goddess, Sophia. The wisdom of God, the harmony and love of weaving in and out of the stillness into the light of day. So from the stillness comes this light of day, the coming forth by deity. And then we move into having intellect, will, sexuality, passion, thinking, what Steiner refers to as the moon evolution, or the 3rd earth. And there's a lot more to it, but we could imagine the stillness, the wisdom, light, love, the passion for life, the pure animus, the pure animal with angel, witness, watching, guiding. And we can imagine that I am being and beholding working and playing this magical, spiritual, ethical, moral imagination that can inspire me to get through my day and be fearless of the craziness of this world that's crassly materialistic and war, conquer and be conquered kind of energetic, that we can be still and know a greater sense of things, where we're all brothers and sisters, co-creative with the whole of life and the future destiny of the earth. And we can imagine the next 3 Earths as awakening the last 3 in reverse order. This would be like the reverse ritual. I mean, they call it that, but I mean, ritual doesn't mean anything other than we do it every day, or we do it every month or every year or something. Like when you put the spoon and fork and knife next to your plate before you eat, you have this emptiness plate. You have this emptiness plate that's us being empty, open to learn something new that could love each other. The emptiness, the openness, the ability to just take a look at what's going on and have an honest answer from our hearts. We don't have to be so intellectual anymore. It's obvious we're killing the earth. And are we doing that so that we can be better off? Or are we, and all of a sudden we can become spiritual beings a little too quickly? Like when we eat too many chemicals that prematurely grow the animal or grow the plant, do we prematurely free ourselves from our form? I mean, I don't want to get lost here. So what I really want to say is that we have this idea of stillness and warmth and love and light and intelligence and will and active hero and a sense of I am everything and nothing and a mind that can participate. And we return in a holistic, ethical, moral, imaginative way. We return through the past 3 Earths in our 7 chakras. We have this sense of the return journey, of threefold return journey, as well as the past becoming wise. And we're in the middle of that. We're the cross at the center of 6 candles, behind and ahead of us. And our heart is the altar. And our thinking and our will, our upper and lower third, are the altar boy and altar girl, you might say. The sun and moon that assists the magical spiritual meeting of ourselves and deity and each other on our heart. And we move back through what was once the moon evolution. We move back into spiritual community and weavings and intelligence that honestly interacts with each other and not just tries to numb out or escape or block all the time, that we're trying to really engage life. And we move back into the hero that we are, of honesty and truth and loving kindness, compassion, learning, sharing, growing, giving away our true nature to help the world enliven, be awake. No dumb suffering that doesn't bring some kind of insight and wisdom. And we can even imagine a 3rd step up, a 4th counting where we are. And we can imagine a higher sense of spirit that is at one with everything. And we can come back to where we are right now. So I wanted to share, and I wanted to make a little comment too, that when I shared Rudolf Steiner's talks before the burning of the Goetheanum, I want to remind everybody that Rudolf Steiner is a very rare individual, and so is Blavatsky. So is Ramakrishna, Arjuna, Hermes Trismegistus, Mithras, all the poets, all the artists, thousands of really brilliant Artemis, Athena, Isis, Sophia, Mary, Mari, Mother of Buddha, the Virgin Mother of Krishna. I mean, all spiritual teachings are to awaken our moral imagination for self participating with the whole of the world in the future. The redemption of the past is only good if it helps you show up today. It's only good if you can prove yourself into the present future and make this world a little better place. And one of the points I have in my talks is that if we can do nothing else but be still and wait till true knowledge comes that can allow us to arise again anew. I'm sharing my point of view because I've been reading books at the Mayflower bookshop for a lot of years and have hung out with a lot of spiritual teachers. I used to hang out a lot with the Vorstand members of the Gurtianum and the wise old elders of yoga and theosophy and Christianity and Tibetan Buddhism, Jewish mystics. I've hung out with a lot of people that studied everything, and I've been trying to boil it down to a simple formula that any person can grab onto. And as you know, I really think it's helpful to read Plotinus or Proclus or some of these Neoplatonists and the Hermetics, Divine Pymander, Kabbalion, Rudolf Steiner, H.P. Blavatsky, William Q. Judge, Osho, the better yoga books, meditation, Manly Haw. The reason that I push so many different things is not to confuse you, but it's to help you not be stuck in one thing where we make poor Rudolf Steiner an infallible God and we worship him rather than doing the work ourselves. And people do that with Blavatsky. They do it with gurus. They do it with the Dalai Lama, and it's killing them. And what's the Dalai Lama doing? He's going back to the basics and giving you a weekly, sometimes a daily little talk that's available somewhere. And, excuse me, still waking up here. Or Gaelic Rinpoche at the very end of his life. I mean, he just went always back to the basic books and just poured his heart out. Anything that would help you to not suffer miserably and ignorantly, and if you have to suffer wisely, so we grow. We grow to know each other a little better and work with each other to help this world heal and be sane and have a department of peace and joy and gardening. And stop making weapons that are going to destroy the world if we ever go to war. These are important conversations. It's important to have work represent money. Conspiracy theories are not going to help us because either you're right about figuring out how somebody betrayed and stole and then you're dead or something, or we need to be able to convert people who are hurting the earth by hiding their true self away. And if we can't do that, I mean, we don't have to go out of our way to do that. We need to do is, I think, pardon me for having such a strong opinion, but I think I'm sharing things, but I'm constantly going back to myself and working on myself and trying to see where I can make it better. And I think we all need to do that and quit conquering the world without having conquered ourselves, without having transmuted and beautified ourselves to grace and fragrant this world. The human being was never meant to be denser than the fragrance of a flower. The human being is a cosmic, beautiful stillness that lets others be here too. It's a light that brings meaning and purpose to every little thing we do. It's a loving kindness and intelligence that can adapt and grow no matter what happens. We can meet the situation with our stillness and light and our wishing to learn. And if difficult things happen, we can pray, we can meditate, that may this cup pass from me. May thy will be done, not mine. And that if I have to suffer something, may all my bad karma burn off so I too can be a creative dream of a better future that's workable. So this is Robert of MayflowerBookshop.com. I hope I've shed a little light on things, because I really think Rudolf Steiner, he tried to empower everything, and he didn't want us to get lost in any one thing. And I wasn't, in my talks previous to the burning that Rudolf Steiner gave, nobody's bad. Some people are a little lost, but everybody's part of the family. And to dream that in our 3-minute meditation, that everyone's a brother and sister, everyone's part of the family, everyone's a neighbor. Love your neighbor as yourself. God is love. It says it in the Christian New Testament. Our job, like Rudolf Steiner's and Blavatsky's, is to find the truth and the compassion and the energetic of awakening in every Holy Scripture. And Rudolf Steiner points out repeatedly how in the future we'll be creating new words for these things. Atma, Buddha, Manas, transforming, the thinking, feeling, willing. However you want to put it, we're going to keep making up new words for that. The spiritual human and the life spirit and the spirit self, awakening our lower three. We're going to put that in new words all the time. And it'd be good if all of us could be a little more listening to each other for the deeper thing we're trying to say. Rudolf Steiner would put it this way, that we have to see the true work of an individual, the spiritual work, or the striving, or the suffering that's purifying and calling us forth out of the grave that we've buried ourselves in, the grave situations, that we have to separate the personality from the reincarnating ego, is another way to put it. But these are all just ways to put it. And whatever way you can listen to that makes you a bigger person, more deeply rooted person, that'd be good. This is Robert of Mayflower Bookshop. Blessing your garden.